Why did the Chicago Bulls miss the playoffs in the 2020-2021 NBA season? What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA. Here to talk about the Bulls. So if you're a Bulls fan, make sure to go ahead, hit that big red subscribe button down below. The season is over, but the content won't stop. I'll be here all off season talking about the Bulls. So if you guys are interested, please make sure to follow me on my social media platforms. Hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video. Let's get into it. All right, so I haven't talked about the Bulls in a while, and I'll be honest with you, it's because I have been fed up. I've been frustrated, fed up, just flat out disgusted at what I've been seeing from the Bulls. Like, just pathetic performances, what I've seen from the Bulls. When they made the trade for Nikola Vucevic, I'm going to not hide from it. I was right here telling you guys they're absolutely going to make the playoffs. I said this is a playoff team, and they are absolutely going to make it. In fact, I placed a bet for it. Obviously, they got eliminated from playoff contention, and they will not be in the playoffs. They won't even be in the play-in tournament. That's how pathetic their performance was in the second half of the season. But let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about why the Bulls missed the playoffs, okay? And I'll admit, I was wrong. They missed the playoffs, right? I'll take my L there. Long-term, though, when we're talking about the Vucevic trade, just a second here, let's talk about this. Long-term, though, talking about the Vucevic trade, I still think 2-3 years down the line, this was the right move to make. Short-term, obviously for this season, it doesn't seem like it was. But why did the Bulls miss the playoffs? A couple of things here. Number one, I believe, is defense. This Chicago Bulls team does not have any solid defenders. Maybe a Thaddeus Young, Patrick Williams, the rookie forward that we have, but both of them I wouldn't call elite defenders. Zach LaVine's not an elite defender. Obviously, we know Kobe White isn't. Nikola Vucevic isn't. Okay? Daniel Tice is solid, but for the most part, defensively, this team has a long way to go. And when you take a look at the teams, the top teams in the NBA, you know, you take a look at the Sixers, the Nets, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Jazz, the Suns, they're all good defensive teams. Defense is how you win games in this league. Defense is how you win championships. So, to me, we have to get better defensively, folks. And that was a big problem down the stretch, where if you can't stop teams like the Magic, yeah, they lost to the Magic, the team that literally gave us their best player. If you can't stop teams like the Timberwolves, who we lost to, you can't stop teams like the Cavs, how do you expect to make the playoffs? So defense is a huge problem. And I don't know if it's a scheme thing, I don't know if it's a personnel thing, but they need to get better defensively. And until they do, they're not going to be anything significant in terms of, you know, being a playoff team or contender. The other issue, playmaking. We all know the Bulls need a point guard. I believe they're going to go ahead and address that this offseason, right? We need a guy who can set up the offense. We were literally, you know, flip-flopping between Kobe and Sato, and then Kobe and Sato. So it's like, no, we need stability. We need stability at the point guard position. We need a guy who can set up the offense for Zach and Vooch and kind of go from there. Okay? So point guard is going to be a huge position of need. And then also another reason, I think, is identity or lack thereof. This Bulls team after the Vooch trade, I don't believe they formed any sort of identity. And I got to blame Billy Donovan a little bit there, right? Because it's like, okay, are we a feed Vooch in the post first team, or are we still running gun with Zach? What are we doing here, right? What is the identity of the Bulls? And if I asked you right now, what is the identity of the Bulls, you can't tell me something because there is no identity, right? They're not a prolific offense. They're not. Are they a lockdown defense? Absolutely not. Do they play gritty? No, they don't. Take a look at the Knicks, for example, right? You know the Knicks, who made the playoffs this year, thanks obviously to Coach Tibbs and Julius Randle and his amazing play. You know the identity. It's great defense, gritty team, physical, you know, things like that. The Bulls, what's their identity? They don't have one. So that is important. You need to establish an identity. And I believe the lack of chemistry, yes, I will still blame chemistry a little bit here. It takes years sometimes to figure out playing with guys. Combined with everything else I mentioned, contributed to the Bulls missing the playoffs. I'm not trying to make excuses for this team because with the talent that they have, they should have never missed it. But talent isn't always everything. So AK, front office, have a lot of work to do in the offseason to make this work. I believe essentially what happened is we made the trade and you had a board and you threw all these pieces at it, but nothing fits. You gotta now take this offseason to move things around, make everything fit, make it all nice and pretty, and so that next season you can lock and load and go and make the playoffs. Because there is no reason this team shouldn't be in the playoffs next year. They have too much damn talent to miss it. All right? So I still believe in AK and the front office long term. I still believe in Billy Donovan, though he frustrated the heck out of me with his rotations. I still believe in this Vooch trade being better for the Bulls in the long haul. But let's not sugarcoat it. This end of the season, second half of the season was an absolute mess. The Bulls should have made the playoffs, and it was pathetic that they didn't. So those are the things I believe are wrong and why they missed the playoffs. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree. Is there anything else I missed? Let me know. As always, thanks for watching.